What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. So today what we're going to be working on doing is pulling the injectors out of my 2020 here behind me to get sent off and be honed out for 100% overs. I've been meaning to do this for a while now. It takes a few weeks to get them back. Now, of course, spring's right around the corner and I procrastinated, and I've just been very busy, didn't get around to doing it, to get them pulled out and sent off. So we're going to be working on doing that today. I'm going to show you guys step by step on how to pull them out. There's not really too many informational videos out there on how to do this, and it's really not a tough job. It's just time consuming. So let's go ahead and dive into it, and I'll show you guys on how to pull the injectors out. I got the fender liners out on each side. That's step two. Step one is disconnecting both batteries because all the injectors are very much electrical and you don't want to mess anything up like that way, get codes or anything like that. So just unplug both batteries, pull the fender liners. As you can see, this side is going to be a lot more difficult to get at the injectors all the way up in there, just because all the electrical wiring and all that stuff, versus the passenger side, which are going to be very easy to get at. As you can see, we're just going to remove that heat shield right there. I believe it's 4 number 10 bolts, or 10mm bolts, and we'll get those pulled, and that will expose the injectors. There's a little foam coverage, another 10mm there. So we'll get both those pulled, and we should be right at the injectors on this side. I'm probably just going to show you guys at this side because I can film it a lot better than just pull the ones on the other side. But I'm also going to show how to disconnect the fuel lines for the other side. There's a special tool required for that. So let's start on this side first, then we'll work on the gyro side. Get the one heat shield off. Best bet is to get this bolt from down below, from underneath in here, and then just come upside, grab your creeper, and you can remove the other 3. And as you can see, the injectors are already exposed. The last thing we're gonna do is get that last foam cover off right in there. It's just one 10mm, and there's that little clip up top there that just pulls up, and just this whole cover will come right off. So let me remove that 10mm, and we'll keep going along here. Alright, so now we got the foam cover off. This bolt does not pull out. As you can see, it just kind of gets stuck in there. That piece, you can see the little nipple, let me see, right up in there. That kind of just slides over that, so you just pull up on that, and it comes off. All this will stay attached. As you can see, that kind of just goes in there like that. Now, all 4 injectors on this side are exposed. I'm going to go out top and unplug the connections. I'm going to show you guys the easiest way to do that without breaking those, because those pigtails you don't want to mess up. A lot of trucks already have issues with the pigtails making a bad connection, and you definitely don't want to make it worse. So I'm going to show you guys an easy way how to get those pulled off, and then we'll go ahead and start out working on getting the injection lines pulled off. Here are the injector lines right here where the pigtails go. You can see them all very good. Show you an easy way, if I can get my flashlight up here, on how to get those pulled off. Okay, so what you want to do is take a little screwdriver. You're going to see where it locks in right there. You just want to pull up on the locking tab just to release it a little bit. And then these will just slide back. You might want to just finagle that a little bit. And then it will just push back and unlock. But just take where the locking tab is on this side, where the screwdriver push up a little bit. And then that will just slide. See how easy that just slid back like that. Now it's unlocked. Go ahead here, push down on that. And just like that, it's unplugged. So it doesn't take a lot, but just be very careful when you do it. So now that we got them all unplugged, as you can see, 1, 2, 3, and 4 unplugged, we're going to start by taking these 10mm hold down bolts out of the top of all the injectors, and you'll see the fuel rail line right there going to all of them. It comes in here by connection. So what we're going to do is just start back there by pulling them up, and then this whole fuel rail will just drop, pull out of the way, leave it attached. Just don't stretch that clamp or it will leak. Then we'll go ahead and start pulling all the connections from the actual rail to the injector. We'll get all these lines pulled. Now, what you want to do when you're doing this is be very organized. So every bolt that comes out of which one, injectors 1, 3, 5, and 7, everything that comes off that injector, put in a bag, label it all, just so you don't lose anything. There's going to be a copper washer on the top and bottom of each one of these bolts that go to the actual injector. So just be very organized. Everything you pull off, just do one at a time and just label everything. So when you go to put it back together, you know where everything goes. And it's better to put everything back in the same place where it came from, so you're not swapping around bolts, because everything, it may be a little stretched to that hole. So you just want everything to go back to where it was. So we'll go ahead and start getting all these pulled. Then we'll work on actually getting the injector pulled out. What I did with everything was, with the bolts on top of the injectors, I just took a ratchet and broke them free by hand. Now I'm going to put my Milwaukee on there and back them all out. Just be careful, like I said, that you don't lose the falling copper washers. You're not going to reuse them. You just don't want them floating around your engine bay somewhere, and you don't want them to be floating, and then when you pull the injector, they fall down into the cylinder. So just make sure everything that you take off, you catch and collect and put somewhere. We got 1, 3, 5, and 7 pulled. As you can see, there's 1 bolt, 2 copper washers. One goes on here, then one goes through the actual feed, and one's on the bottom. I'm gonna show you guys what I'm talking about really quick. And if you ever drop one, you have a good magnet that will just pick it right up. Set this stuff to the side. Here's the actual feed right here. As you see, 1 copper washer's on here, then the bolt goes through, then on the bottom there's another one. And like I said, that just free floats when it's done. Just don't stretch it too hard because there is a actual hose down there with a clamp, and you don't want to kink that or rip that or anything. So now that that's out, we're gonna go ahead and work on getting these actual hardline feeds from the rail to the injector pulled on all 4 of these. And again, we're gonna put them in the same bag just so we know where everything goes. I'm actually gonna take a Sharpie and mark this here, both these, so when I go to put it back together, I know which one's the top and which one goes to the injector, just to make my life easy. So I'm gonna go ahead here now, mark those up, and keep going along here. A 17mm wrench fits on the 4 going to the rail. You wanna turn them this way, up towards the cab like that to loosen them. Now don't be thinking that the ones going to the injectors are going the same way. Technically, the way they thread in, they're reversed, so they'll be pulling them this way towards you like this, like that. So I'm gonna go ahead and get these 4 disconnected up here, then get them disconnected from the injector, and then I will show you guys how to use the hold down to actually pull the injector out. There is a special tool, but I don't have it, and 99% of the people I talk to, they're gonna do it the way I show you. So just keep that in mind. I think the tool's like 150 bucks. Everywhere I looked, no one had it in stock, and I wouldn't be able to get it in time. So I'm just gonna do the way that everyone else told me is fine. So maybe go ahead and keep on working getting these out, and then we'll disconnect them from the injector. I got the line pulled off for number 7, and like I said, when I got it pulled, I just took a Sharpie and put it on that side just so I know which side goes where. Now I'm just gonna mark all these going to the rail with the Sharpie, just to make my life easier when I go to put it back in. I'm not flip-flopping in a million ways trying to figure out which side goes where. So I'm gonna go ahead and get the rest pulled, do the same thing, and then we'll move on to the driver, or we'll move on to pulling the injector out, and I'll show you guys how to do that. Got the bags on the floor, getting out 1, 3, 5, and 7. Now we're gonna work on taking the injector hold downs out. As you can see, they're right here, they're 10mm bolt there. You loosen, there's 1, 2, 3, and 4. Be very careful you don't drop these on the floor. They will break most likely, so just be very careful. And this injector hold down, we're gonna put it in reverse and pry up on the injector, and that's how we're gonna get the injector out. So I'm gonna go ahead and get them all pulled out right now. Now that we got the injector seats out, this is what holds the injector down from blowing back out. So it goes in here like this, and the bolt we just took out goes through there. What you're gonna do to take the injector out is you're gonna flip this upside down and snake it up in there like that, and technically you're going to use this as the pry bar. So you're going to push down on this. You want to take something on this end, maybe like a hammer or something like that. Be very careful when you do this. You don't have to beat the hell out of it, just enough to unseat the injector. Make sure the injector doesn't go flying up and out and you drop it on the floor. That'd be a terrible time. Everything to do with this injector, you want to take your time. That's basically any time you're working on these trucks. So we're going to go ahead here now, get this in there like that, pry it up and out, and then we'll pull the injectors out. As you can see, I got the injector seat right here upside down. Watch the harness right here too, that you don't rip anything out. I'm going to take my hammer now, hit on that very lightly, just enough to break the injector free, and we'll go ahead and get the injector pulled. Okay, so we got the injector pulled, and I am actually very surprised. Now, my truck only has 18,000 miles on it. Let me get this camera to focus here real quick. Now, my truck only has 18,000 miles. Look at the crud on the end of that injector. I am actually surprised how much dirt and crap is on here. It's actually crazy how much is on here. It's so much crap on the end of this injector. So I'm gonna go ahead and wipe this down a little bit, and we'll go ahead and get these sent off to be built for 100 overs. Now, like I said, I'm actually kind of surprised. I was expecting to see these like brand new, but fuel nowadays is very dirty. I do change my fuel filter every other oil change, about 6,000 miles, and like I said, I'm surprised the amount of crud on the end of that thing. Alright, so we just got injector number 5 pulled, and this is just as worse, if not worse, than number 7. Tons of dirt. I'm gonna go ahead and keep getting number 3 out next, and number 1, see what those look like. But like I said, I am actually surprised on how filthy these tips are. Number 3, as you can see how much of stuff's caked on there, is not as bad as the others, even though this one's pretty disgusting. But trying to get you to see that a little bit, but these are really filthy. Alright, so we got the passenger side pulled 1, 3, 5, and 7. We got everything organized, like I said, and you want to be very neat. Injector number 1 was definitely the hardest to get at on this side because how far up it was, there's really no room to get at it. Now, I know the driver's side here, 2, 4, 6, and 8, are going to be an absolutely miserable time. I'm probably not even going to show how to do this side. It's the same objective really as the other side. It's just I'll never be able to film this because of how crappy they're going to be to get at. But really quick, I'm going to show you guys how to remove the fuel lines to be able to access the driver's side injectors. As you can see, there's a feed line and return lines right back in there. You need a special fuel line remover to do that. It's a 1/2 inch for the feed and 3/8 for the return. I'm going to show you guys how to pop those clips off to get those off. What you first want to do is remove the hot side pipe here, so I'm going to go ahead get that removed, and I'll show you guys how to pop those clips off that and remove the feed and return lines there. On top of the fuel lines right here, there's these retaining clips, 1 and 2. You want to pull these off by hand. Be very careful that you have a good grip on them because they will fly a million miles an hour out of here. Probably fly down in the valley, you'll never find them. So just grab the whole of those, pull off, and then we're going to take our special fuel line tool I'll show you here in a minute to be able to go ahead and disconnect these the proper way. You can do this with a screwdriver. I have seen it done, and it can be done, but you definitely don't want to damage these lines or you'll have nothing but fuel leaks. So we're going to do it the right way with the proper tool. The proper tool is literally $10. Go out and buy it after I show you, but we'll go ahead here now, get these two pulled. We'll label which one's which, then get these pulled to be able to access the heat shield or the foam underneath here to get to the injectors. Now that we got them pulled, like I said, there's just these two clips on the backside that hold it onto the actual line. You can pull this off by hand, but make sure you label which one's which because this is for the 3/8 line and the feed line is the 1/2 inch one. So make sure, like I already did, have it labeled in the bag, put in there. And now I'll go ahead and pull that line off and show you guys the tool that you need to go ahead and get that pulled properly. This is the tool here. It's the fuel line quick disconnect tool. This one has multiple different sizes in it. I got this from my local Napa store. But you just got to make sure it has this one, like you can see right there, 1/2 inch and 3/8. Those are the two that we need, and they're both built into here. So what we're going to do is cup this around, slowly work it back, and it'll disconnect the line. I'll show how to do that, but let me go ahead and get this opened up and get it halfway started here to make recording it a lot easier. We took our tool, went ahead, slid the back one off, just like that. Now we're going to go ahead and work on the front one, getting that one off, and then once we get that off, we'll go ahead and get all 4 injectors on this side, 2, 4, 6, and 8 pulled. But like I said, I'm probably just going to show you guys how to do the passenger side like I already did. Then I'm just going to go ahead and pull the driver's side on my own just because this side's going to be a lot more intricate to get at. And it's all going to be about the angles getting in there. It's going to be really nothing special techniques. Everything that you did on this side is going to transfer over and you'll do on this side. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap the video up here and stay tuned for the 100% overs. Alright, so that's about it for this video, guys. Like I said, I got 1, 3, 5, and 7 pulled out. I'm going to go ahead and end this video here and get 2, 4, 6, and 8 pulled. Like I said, that side's not going to be any different than the passenger side. It's just going to be a lot more difficult to get at, and filming is probably going to be a terrible time. But if you guys are new here, be sure to subscribe. If you like the content that you saw, be sure to leave this video a big thumbs up. But until next time, I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.
Stop this conversation. We got no relation.